Hi everyone, hope you're all well. In this video I'm going to be having a tidy up in the garden, and if that's not enough to entice you, then I don't know what is. So I've got a few hours today. It's the end of January, and a nice dry Saturday. So I thought the garden's looking a bit of a mess. What can I do in a few hours? So yeah, stay with me today and see what we get done. So to start with, it's just a quick run around tidying up. There's tennis balls here, there's the remnants of the Christmas tree, just odds and sods all about. Then I'm going to have a look at the borders and probably clear away all of the dead material from there. There's the rest of the Christmas tree. This bit of lawn is bothering me. When we did the path last year, we took out a lot of grass and that's where it all went. So it's hard to tell really, but it's like sort of leveled out, or if not slightly raised even over there. But that grass seems to grow quicker because it's, I don't know, it's better conditions, I suppose. So I might get the lawnmower out and mow that. If I do that, then I might have to do the rest of the lawn, but I mean, it's mostly moss anyway. Not sure there's much point really. I did want to paint the raised beds, but the decking stain I've got says do not use below 10 degrees C, and unfortunately it's not going to reach 10 today, even at the peak. I'm going to have a tidy up of all these bits of offcuts of tiles. We've still got a tiny bit to do. I've got a step to do, so I won't get rid of all of those, but I will get rid of some. Bit of a tidy up there. Look, that was some money can go to the tip. Trampoline cover is all over there. I probably won't put the trampoline up today, but I'll just tidy this area up, make it presentable. The apple tree, that's going to be one of the first tasks as well, to tackle that. It's obviously not tropical or exotic at all. So it doesn't really fit in with the garden theme. However, it does provide us free apples, so it is staying, but I am going to cut it back quite aggressively, I would say. And I also want to take a foot or two off the hedge, and I'll show you why in a minute, if you bear with me. So if I lift the camera up as high as I can reach, you can see there's some hills and beautiful countryside behind the hedge. Well, a few houses behind the hedge, but after that it's open countryside. So the idea is to take a little bit off the hedge so that we can see that not only from the garden but mainly from the house actually. You see a bit through that gap there as well. Nothing I can do about that gap, but we can open up that one, which will be nice. Thought I'd have a quick look in the greenhouse. Not going to do too much tidying in here today, but I am probably going to give everything a water. Haven't watered in here for probably a couple of months, so whilst we're not going to have any freezing nights, I might give everything a bit of a water. I'll just pick things up, and that feels that I can tell that's light and needs watering. I think everything's going to need a water, or not quite everything. I probably won't water the aloe vera or these agaves, but pretty much everything else. Some of the bigger pots actually don't need a water. That still feels quite moist. So it's mainly the smaller pots, I think. I'll water all the cordylines. There's some shamrops over there which I'll leave alone as well. And these Washingtonia, again, the bigger pots seem okay. The smaller pots are completely dried out. So you can see the difference here. Actually, it's a good example. A small pot has dried out and the leaf has started to die back as a result, not having enough water. This one I'll show you through the glass really. Much bigger pot. The pot's still moist and it's got some great leaves on it. There are, where it's gone brown there, that's because it's actually touching the glass and it gets colder. That's just cold damage. But you can see actually it's faring quite well in the larger pot. That was a bit of an experiment this year because normally I do keep them in small pots and I'm wondering why each spring they all look so damaged. So yeah, give everything or most of it a bit of a water if it needs it. I'm not going to go mad, just a little splash and dash, and that'll probably be it then until, well, for another month maybe. So I treated myself to a new toy. This is a pole saw. It's only a cheap one from Screwfix. Fairly small blade there, chain I mean. But it's got good reviews and I'm going to give it a go. It's certainly what I need to cut the top of the hedge. I'm also going to use it on the apple tree now as a bit of a practice. I've assembled it, I've oiled, I've put oil in the chamber here, so I'm good to go. I thought I was good to go about an hour ago, but my old extension reel has broken, so I've just been to buy a brand new one. I've tested it, it's working now, so yeah, let's give it a go. The idea really here is to try and cut it back. So let me get my bearings. So I'm probably going to take sort of that much off, just make it, you know, a fair bit smaller. I'm probably going to take about, I don't know, 25%, maybe 20% off of the tree. It's just growing very sideways, you know. I don't really want it growing sideways, and it's sort of extending forwards as well into the garden, so just want to get it under control a little bit. So yeah, let's give that a go. Okay, whilst the saw is working on the apple tree, it's probably not the right tool for the job, actually. You can see some of the cuts. Well, it looks a bit butchered, doesn't it? I'm not getting a clean cut on it, which I would rather get, so I'm going to come back through now with a pair of loppers and actually cut that there, so, or probably up there actually. I don't really want such an exposed cut on these branches. Okay, so I'm pretty pleased with the right hand side. I think that looks pretty good. Not sure I took enough off the left hand side, but I'm a bit nervous. I mean, I said I'd take 20% off or 25%. It's nowhere near that much, look. But nevertheless, it is a substantial amount that I have taken off. And I'm well aware that, you know, it's the new growth that produces the blossom, and that's obviously where the apples grow. You can see there's loads of new growth left on the tree, loads of buds there. So I'm fairly relaxed about that. But if I take too much more off over here, then I do worry that that would be too much. But overall, I think it's a better shape. I'll see how it reacts to that haircut, and at this point in time, I imagine I'll do the same next year. Maybe concentrate more on the left hand side. But it's definitely an improvement on where it was. It needed doing. I would like to take a bit off the top, and when I'm up on the ladders doing the hedge, I might take, well, I will take a bit off the top of the tree as well. So now it's time to tackle the hedge. I don't know if you can appreciate how high it is. It's probably 2 of me. So let's go a 12 foot on a good day, on tiptoes. And I'll be using my ladders, obviously. The polesaw gives good sort of extension, but actually it's quite difficult to use. Obviously you've got a heavy, or relatively heavy electric motor right on the end of it, and at the chainsaw end. So, you know, it creates quite a lever if you extend it. So it does give you a bit of reach nonetheless. So I think I'm aiming for 2 foot, but let's see how it goes. It's not the most comfortable being up on ladders, but I'm going to give it a go. So the difficulty I've got is, as you can see, the ladder stretches pretty much up to the point where I want to cut it. That's fine. But because the polesaw is so long, this is on its shortest setting, and obviously the saw is at one end and the trigger is at the other end, I can't really cut so close to where I am because I need to have my arm way back on the trigger. So I need to think of a better way of doing this. look at that. Neat as a pin. Well, not really. I knew it'd be a bit scruffy, but actually pretty happy with the result, considering it was very difficult to start with. I didn't really have any confidence up the ladder, and just finding, somewhere to start was tricky. So this is the same position I was in before. You can now see fields and a lovely hill in the background. Actually, I was in this position before. So that's me stood on my tiptoes with my camera in the air. And this is head height. So, achieved the goal of bringing the nice backdrop that we have here into view. It'll be even better from inside the house, because it's an extra foot in the air, and even better from upstairs, obviously. Could probably do with neatening up the top, but the sun's getting pretty low, so I'm gonna call it a day with the cutting. Just a big tidy up operation now, and yeah, I'll call it a day then. Okay, as I mentioned, the sun is setting. So it's a cloudy day, but the sun's very low in the sky, and I'm gonna have to just finish cleaning up here a little bit and call it a day. So if you're playing spot the difference, you'll be doing well to actually spot a difference. Apart from obviously the hedge is the main thing. Apple tree you might notice as well if you're very observant. And generally I've just had a bit of a tidy up. Really want to get a pressure washer off my mum and dad tomorrow. Give everywhere a spray. I can't do the beds until it's a bit warmer. I need to take all this to the tip, of course. The garden waste bin is now full. First collection isn't for another month or so, I don't think. So yeah, didn't get around to doing half the jobs I wanted to do, but that's the way it always seems to happen, isn't it? It's been a beautiful day today, a bit chilly, but nice and dry. Our grass here is normally very spongy, but today I can walk on all of it without compacting it, so that's really good news. Really nice to be outside again. I work indoors, so sort of miss being outside, and I expect many people in the UK have actually been out in the garden today. I think it's been quite nice weather everywhere across the whole country. So yeah, let me know if you've been doing something similar, and check back again soon for another video. Okay, thanks very much for watching, if indeed you still are.